because I'm looking down at my phone.
Okay. We live. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast coming up next. Randy Orton's Diabolical heel turn. Hey, why does Cody get beat up in all these heel turns, man? Yeah. we gonna talk about all that stuff, man. Coming up next.
Strength is powerhouse, dangerous slam, surgical, can't repair once I break every limb. The general, which ring you prefer, I defend, cause the ruler always preys on the food in his hand. I'm telling you, fam, my entourage is definitely stacked. Don Callis, I'm related to every wolf in my pack. Diesel like Shaq, I'm always outside for the script. Light it up, we take the ring, no fear in our eyes. Gold on my shoulder, fire in the sky. Hear the crowd get loud, we were born to rise. Bars in the zone, Doug keeps the pace. Otter with the plan, we control the space. This is greatness, nothing less. Turn the pressure to success.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Soon, Bang Out Club will meet their fate. We have a secret weapon, someone from Lisa Bang Out's past, just in case she tries to get involved in our business. Meet our insurance policy.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.
You want the best? You're looking at her. This ain't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Welcome to the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast. We are the champions of wrestling talk.
Please stand by.
Now, here's your host for Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast, the insightful Escott Bars, wrestling media in the dynamic salute, Darkwing Dub.
We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. Hey, yeah. It seems like we've been gone for a while, doesn't it? We ain't been gone. We just been busy. We've been busy, man, trying to lock in these interviews and get stuff popping. So, bear with us at the moment. You know what I'm saying? We just doing it do, but we in there. So, what's good with you, bro?
Man, just chilling, man. Work, kids, family, sports, work. The normal dad stuff.
Yeah. I feel you. Same here. We've been doing a lot of reorganizing in our house. Not only that, like I told you before off camera, I've been really focused and locked in on my music, trying to get this stuff done. So, it's been real busy. I've been real busy, trying to be able to juggle what we doing over at the podcast and at the same time what we doing over with the music, but I've been able to keep a balance so far, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing, but other than that, man, that's been what it is. It's been what it was, for now and stuff,
Yeah, man, I've been just gathering topics for, those y'all that don't know. Like, I do have my own show that I do, but it's more related around the sports world, not so much the wrestling world. I mean, there's some things that I will cover for wrestling that, if we can't get to it right away, I'll go ahead and talk about it. Just like, he'll talk about it on his show on the Tiki Talks, but I try to keep the wrestling for us to talk about as a group. But yeah, I do have some topics coming up for No Cap. Y'all be expecting, and we know Major League Baseball is gonna be starting back up in about a week. So I'll do my Major League Baseball show where I give all my predictions for, who's gonna win the World Series, who's gonna win with MVPs and Cy Youngs and so on and so forth. But yeah, I got that in the bag. I got all that saved on the computer. It's just gotta have the time to get up on here and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just perks of being a dad and a husband.
Yeah, I know. For people that actually think that all we do all day is just sit in front of the computers and talk about wrestling and stuff like that. No, we actually have a life outside of content creating, and we actually do other things with our time, you know? And sometimes those things, you know, basically shut down the content creating, and we got to focus on those other things because without those other things, we can't content create. So yeah, that's what it is, that's life. It is what it is. But
That's it.
but we got a lot to talk about, man. Randy Orton. We're going to start calling him Mr. Diabolical.
Man, listen. You know how I feel about a good heel. And you already know I think the greatest heel of all time is Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
So when he did that, all the hair on my arm and my neck and just stood up, bro. Because I'm like, this is what I've been waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
And in the way he sat in that chair, holding the belt, I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love a good heel.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with you. What's funny is that all these diabolical heel turns have all happened when Cody was the champion. And he has gotten his ass whooped every single time when it occurred. Now, I'm not saying they're trying to bury Cody, because obviously his character is of a character that is supposed to show perseverance in the heat of battle. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why they do what they do with his character. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's getting his butt whooped, but he perseveres through the butt whooping to get the W. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. That's who his character has become. That's who his character is. His character is just a tough hombre who perseveres through all types of turbulence to get the W. That's who he is. But it's just crazy how they use him for every single diabolical heel turn. I seen a meme that had the heel turn with him and Randy. They had the heel turn with him and Xena, and then they had a heel turn with him and somebody else. I forgot who it was.
Rock.
Huh? The Rock.
Rock.
Yep, The Rock. The Rock. So I'm like, he must be the post. That's exactly what it was. Yep. So I'm saying to myself, he must be the poster boy for these heel turns. He must be the poster boy. He gotta be, because every single time when they need somebody to turn heel, and if he's the champion, oh yeah, Cody gonna make you look good. Go ahead, do it with Cody. You know what I'm saying? Do the heel turn thing with Cody, and that's exactly what happened. You spoke about what your thoughts were, so explain to the people what you think might happen next.
Well, so you watched Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. I watched.
I want to know who he was talking to on the phone. Was it his dad? Some people were saying it's a Cowboy Bob Orton. Some people are saying that because at the end he said wrestling has more than one royal family. And we know that is the beginning of Cody Rhodes' theme song.
Mm-hmm.
So is it Cowboy Bob Orton? Is it I also saw somebody say, I think it was Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray had said something like, it would make a lot of sense if it was Charlotte. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, you
Charlotte Flair.
know, yeah. I'm like, you might be on to something there. Because, Randy has a past with Ric Flair being in Evolution,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if they start their own evolution? I apologize, evolution. And it's Randy and it's Charlotte. And then you got because Randy would play maybe the Ric Flair role where he's the old guy that still gets it in from time to time, but is passing on knowledge to the young ones. Maybe Charlotte plays the Triple H role. So who would you have play the Randy Orton role and the Batista role? You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be
Well,
on to something. What if it is Charlotte?
the Randy Orton and Batista role, then like if they doing something like that, I feel like they don't really have a character on the main roster that could play the Randy Orton role, but they have characters like that in NXT that can. And the first
Miles
person,
Bourne.
Miles Bourne could, but I don't think he's ready for that
He's
type of.
not, but they didn't think Randy was ready either. That's why they put him with Triple H and Ric Flair.
Yeah. You know who I know is ready for that type of smoke? Your boy Ethan Page. Ethan Page is ready for that smoke. Ethan Page would make the perfect Randy Orton student on main roster if they were to make a new evolution. They would make the perfect guy. If you talking about the Batista role, um, there's a few guys on the main roster that could do that, but they're currently in stories right now, and I don't think it would work. But if you really wanted to shake things up and you know what I'm saying, really make a statement as far as the new faction that was created, you know what I mean? And obviously everybody in Evolution held the world title at least once or twice or three times more. Because if you notice, every person in Evolution was a world champion at one point. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you put Oba in there. Maybe you put Oba in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Have him play the Batista role. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, you just go off of the same type of vibe that you did before. And then, cause everybody Evolution had the belt. And before you guys start marking out and say, oh, why would you put Oba in there? Or why would you? Who else do you feel could play that role like a Batista did? You know what I'm saying? Who else do you think could play that role? Think of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Who else on the main roster could you think could do that?
I will say this. I feel like if now we understand that this is all hypothetical.
Yeah, fantasy booking.
Nobody's saying, nobody's saying that it's actually gonna happen. It's just whenever I saw Bubba Ray has said possibly Charlotte, I'm like, it makes sense, right? But I feel like one of them would have to be a female. If Charlotte is gonna be part of that, I feel like another one would have to be a female. Whether if it's the Randy Orton part, like who would be the Randy Orton part, who would be the Batista part? Like I feel like one of them would have to be a female, just so Charlotte would have a quote unquote tag partner. And I don't
So,
think Alexa Bliss would fit that
nah,
narrative
she won.
after that.
So if you're saying the Randy Orton part as a female, I still feel like that would have to be somebody from NXT. I still don't see no female on the main roster playing that Randy Orton part. I feel like there's a few people on NXT that could do it. Um,
One that would make sense to me, but it would make sense, but it doesn't make sense. It would make sense because she's young, she's athletic, she can do all the things, but it doesn't make sense because she's been a babyface her entire run in NXT. Sol Ruka.
yeah, Ruka could do it. Ruka could definitely
But,
do it.
but can we haven't seen it? So we all know that Evolution was a heel group. So can she play a heel?
I think so. I honestly, I'm gonna be in. This could be me just like just thinking out of the ordinary, but I feel she could probably be a better heel than she is a babyface. If you look at her character, you know what I'm saying? Her character is like a 90s version of Sting. When Sting had the face paint, the surfer guy, you know what I'm saying? That's who her character is, a 90s version of Sting. When Sting took away that surfer look and he became the face painted crow guy, it was the most craziest thing we ever seen in professional wrestling. Everybody marked out for that. You understand what I'm saying? If you take Sol Ruka's surfer look and put a little bit of heel behind it, like just make her gritty, change her hair color. You don't gotta put no face paint on her. Just change her hair color. Dress her in one of those female suits. Make her arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Make her look down, on people. You know what I'm saying? I think it could work. Give her a little bit of an edginess behind her character. Because honestly speaking, she could do it. She got the athleticism. She has the look. What's stopping from WWE for making her a heel? You know what I'm saying? I think that she could do it. Honestly, I think it'll be a perfect.
Another one that I could see doing it, and we know she could play a heel, and it's Kalani Jordan.
Oh yeah, Kalani could do it.
And she's playing a heel right now. So we know she can do babyface and heel. So if you're looking for somebody who already has the heel and the babyface rolled down, and you want that person to come from NXT, Kalani Jordan. If you want to experiment with the heel version of who this person could be, then you roll with Sol Ruka because we know she has the babyface down. If you want to experiment, you roll with Sol Ruka, or you can go with the current NXT Women's Champion JC Jane because we know she can play a damn good heel, especially in a group setting.
Mm-hmm.
So there's three options right there that can play that Randy Orton spot.
Mm-hmm.
You got two ready-made heels, which Kalani Jordan and JC Jane, and you got somebody that you may need to experiment a little bit with just to see if she can do it, but has everything needed to do so. Be Sol Ruka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Right. Now, as far as the Batista role, would I personally pick Oba? No, I think Oba is perfectly fine by himself. He's already, Brock Lesnar handpicked him. Brock Lesnar isn't going to work with just anybody. And the fact that Brock Lesnar chose Oba says that Oba's ready right now to go. So he doesn't need a group. Whereas when Batista came in, Batista wasn't quite ready. He was kind of like a Randy Orton in the sense of he was an experiment. What can we do to get him ready? That way, when we're ready to break up the Evolution group, he can go off on his own, become the superstar that we think he is, which what happened with Batista? He became a damn good superstar, holding the title several times, going to WrestleMania. Like, come on. They wanted Batista to break the streak, and Batista said no. Just like Edge, they wanted Edge to break the streak, and Edge said no because they both felt like the streak should never be broken. But you were picked to break the streak. So who is like that right now to where he can come in, he can beat Randy and Charlotte's muscle, and while we still getting them ready for mainstream stuff. Oba's ready. Brock Lesnar chose him. Oba's ready. Who else is out there that we can see being a superstar, but just needs a tad bit more time to work with people like Charlotte Flair and work with, the one of the GOATs, Randy Orton?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. On the main roster, I don't know. I don't have a clue. As of right now, I don't really have a clue. But what I can say is that if they go down that road, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent within the roster that they can choose from on, putting them jump starting their career into the stratosphere of popularity. There's a lot. There's a lot of characters they could choose from.
I'm gonna throw a name at you real quick, because you brought up Obafemi, but this guy is a monster. He's in NXT. He's a heel. If you watched NXT last night, you saw what he did interrupting Booker T's appreciation. Right?
I know you talking about my dude. You talking about my guy. You talking about Canoe Carver? You talking about him? Oh,
Keanu Carver.
Keanu Carver definitely could play that role. I just feel like they wouldn't pick him to do it if it was, but he definitely can do it. He definitely can do it.
He fits the mold. He fits the mold of somebody needing a little bit more time, but could use the experience of working underneath a Randy Orton and a Charlotte Flair. Could use that. Mm-hmm. Randy Orton can build this guy up into the real true monster, kind of like what Triple H did with Batista. They can go on and win intercontinental titles and U.S. titles and tag team titles, just getting him ready, and then he can have his own moment of where he wins the Royal Rumble, and then he chooses Randy Orton to go after for the belt, just like they did with Batista. Just saying.
Yeah, no, that definitely is a possibility. I definitely could see that. I definitely could see that. But there's one thing that you said that I wanna tap into just before we go back to the whole Randy thing, right? So you said Brock handpicked, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna tap in more into this down the road. You said Brock handpicked Obafemi. Now, there has been rumors out there that, Brock Lesnar, refuses to lose at Mania, or is refusing to lose until Mania. One of the two. And I feel this is what's going to happen with Oba. So they're going to wrestle at Mania. Oba's going to have probably a 5-star match with Brock Lesnar, right? But Brock is still going to win. Brock's going to win by the skin of his teeth, just like he did with Samoa Joe. You know what happens? They have another match. SummerSlam. Then Oba wins. That's what I think is going to happen. What do you think?
I don't think you put a guy like Obafemi against Brock Lesnar, after the debut he's had with dominating everybody, and then you have him go to WrestleMania to lose. I think that kills his momentum. And I think and I get it, people. I get it. Brock Lesnar, he's in the files, he's done all this and that. But if there's one thing that we've seen the older that Brock Lesnar gets, is the ability to put people over. Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar is not going to sell for just anybody. We saw he sold for Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre went over on him. You know, I think that he's going to. We saw it on Monday. He sold for Obafemi. You could see, when he was up for the fall for grace, you could see that Brock was talking to him before he went down. You can see Brock tell him, "Put your foot on my chest," to show dominance. And you could tell that meant something to Oba because we all saw the tear. Like, this was his moment. I don't think you put somebody like that to lose. I think that breaks his momentum because he's come in with all this momentum. I don't think he loses at WrestleMania. I think he goes over Brock, but maybe somewhere like a Backlash or SummerSlam or something like that, Brock gets his get back. But I think with Brock choosing Obafemi, Brock knows that there's money in this. Brock knows that people have been wanting this. Whenever Brock, whenever they had that face-to-face at Royal Rumble, everybody wanted that at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And they're giving it to us. So how else does Oba get his get back? Because who was it that eliminated Oba from the Royal Rumble? It was Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. So I think you have to have Oba go over Brock at WrestleMania. I think it'd be a fucking amazing match because like I said, Brock isn't just going to sell for anybody. But sold. He sold for Obafemi. That means Brock himself sees something in Obafemi. I think Brock is going to let Oba go over on him because Brock is at the stage of his career where he should be help make stars now.
No, you're right. You're right. I agree with you, but I also understand that he has a lot of pull. He got a lot of swag and reach within WWE, regardless of what's going on with his case and whatnot. He has a lot of reach. And I also know too, if there's money involved in this thing, which we all know there is, I also feel that they're going to try to milk this thing for as long as they possibly can before they say, all right, that's it. So that's why I feel like that's probably going to happen. Now, I'm hoping that I'm wrong and it doesn't happen and they just do what we all want them to do and have Oba go over and end it, and that's it. That's what I hope.
Triple H wants to beat those allegations.
Yeah.
You better start with that.
But we should know WWE now. WWE follows their own merit, and that's how they are, But yeah, I didn't want to go too deep into it because I know we're gonna end up talking about this again somewhere down the road. But I just it was in my head, and I was like, I gotta get this out before I forget and things like that, But yeah, Randy is a diabolical heel. He's a diabolical human. Every time he goes heel, it's like the most heinous thing you could see in professional wrestling. He does this heel thing so well. You know what I'm saying? When he was a legend killer, he was very gruesome. When he wrestled against people like Jeff Hardy, he was very gruesome. When he wrestled against Mankind, Mick Foley, he was very gruesome. He did some of the most heinous things you could possibly do to a professional wrestler when he was heel. And now he's wrestling against somebody who was at one point his student, which is Cody Rhodes. So how Cody Rhodes conquers this is going to be something interesting to watch. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna look something up real quick while you were talking. I just wanted to see something real quick, real quick, because what if the person that he was talking on, because you said, you brought up something that caught my attention, where you said Cody Rhodes was his understudy. There was also one other person that was his understudy, Ted DiBiase Jr.
Nah, he's not bringing him back.
More than one royal family. You got the other, you got Daddy DiBiase out there too. So it's just hypotheticals. I'm throwing it out there. Because if Cody is an understudy, so is Ted DiBiase Jr. So it's like, does he bring him back? Doubtful, but I mean, legacy.
No. You absolutely right, and I agree with you. But the only reason why I'm disagreeing with it is because I seen a recent interview and news report about Ted DiBiase Jr. and this whole scam with money with his father and his younger brother. So I'm like, if they bring him back, that's really going to put a backlash on TKO and WWE, and I don't think they want that type of smoke. So that's why I'm saying.
I mean, they did just bring back somebody who's alleged in SA. Just throwing that out there.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They did do that, but I just feel like if they were to do something like that, like it would be more controversial than normal. Let me just say that. It'll be more controversial than normal.
I completely understand what you're saying. And I'm just saying, well, like you said it earlier though, WWE moves to the beat of their own drum. So if it's something that they want to do, they're going to do it. For instance, Brock Lesnar should not be on anybody's TV, and yet here he is. Vince McMahon is still being talked about amongst the IWC for coming back to WWE. Now, we know TKO probably won't let that happen. I mean, Dana White is not innocent from anything. He's been involved in some stuff himself, and yet he's on the board of TKO. Along with Nick Khan and The Rock, and Dana White's there. I mean, some of the most celebrated individuals in this country, believe it or not, have a terrible past. I mean, look at the president. I'm just saying. The president of the United States right now is the ultimate piece of shit. And yet he was voted as president. So would it surprise me if they brought Ted DiBiase back? Absolutely not. Because Brock Lesnar's on TV. Now, should they? No.
Yeah.
Just saying. But Randy Orton, one of the most, if not the most diabolical heels there has ever been on any kind of wrestler. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There's only one Randy Orton. There's only one heel Randy Orton. People can only hope to be like a heel Randy Orton. But there will never be. Because I've seen some people on there saying, well, Swerve, nah. Swerve isn't as diabolical or evil as Randy Orton.
Yeah.
History-wise. Now, if I had to tell people, as of right now, who are my top 5 heels in the game right now? right as this moment. Number 5, I'm gonna count down from 5. Number 5 is Randy Orton. I'm only putting him at 5 because his heel turn just happened. We'll have to see how the rest of it goes. Number 4, Swerve. Again, his heel turn just happened. We'll see how the rest of it goes. We saw what he did with Brody King at Revolution. How we saw what he did to Kenny Omega. Now Kenny Omega's coming back for revenge. And then after tonight, they're going to have a match. And the winner of the match, either Swerve's going to have EVP status or Kenny Omega's going to take his spot as the number 1 contender.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how the rest of it goes.
I want to say one thing about that. And while you're talking, I'm trying to put something together on here for our thumbnail. So I want to say something about that. So they made that match for next week, right? I feel that Swerve could possibly win that because it don't make sense for Kenny Omega to win it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they don't change their mind and then he wins it. I'm just saying it don't make sense. Like why would they make that type of deal if Swerve is not going to win? You know what I'm saying? Like it would make no sense for Swerve not to win that. You hear what I'm saying? Like if he loses that, where does Swerve go from here? You know what I'm saying? Like he puts his number 1 contendership on the line. He loses his number 1 contendership. Now he has to go on this diabolical rampage and whatnot. Like it to me, it just makes more sense for him to win that EVP status. You know what I mean? But I don't know. You know, I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah.
I don't know either. I would understand if he was to lose and give up his number 1 contender match or spot. I think Tony Khan wants to see Kenny Omega versus MJF at Dynasty. I think that's what they want. I think they're trying to hold off Swerve until after All In, because I think at All In, Will Ospreay will be the one to take the belt off of MJF because it's in Wembley. And then you have Swerve versus Will Ospreay. But as far as I understand both sides. I understand if Swerve was to lose, it's because people want to see Kenny Omega versus MJF. Kenny Omega ain't got much time left with that diverticulitis. You know, it's the same thing that put Brock Lesnar down. So he ain't got much time left. So I think I would understand if it happened. But I also would understand if Swerve were to win. Just by going off what you said. I understand that. So there's a compelling case to be made for both of them. Like which one would make more sense right now? Getting Kenny Omega one last shot before, you know, he starts to wind down his career, or give it to Swerve and let Swerve go after MJF.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand both sides. I don't know. But to continue on, so number 4 I said was Swerve. Number 3, and I only put him at number 3 because they're not doing anything with him right now. You know, they put him in this gimmick, and so who's next, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's Gunther, and he went on this streak. He retired Goldberg, then he retired John Cena, then he retired AJ Styles. So now he has this legend, I don't know, for lack of a better term, legend killer status, like Randy Orton was on. But they've kind of put him in a box. Like, where do you go? What is he going to do for WrestleMania? There's nobody to really retire right now. So what is at WrestleMania for Gunther? You have to have him on the card. You cannot leave Gunther off the card. So they kind of put themselves in a box. Do they break him out of this legend killer status and have him go back to being the ring general? And I'm not talking about just the ring general of 2025. I'm talking about the ring general of his Intercontinental title run. That's the ring general I want to see, where every match that he was having was 5-star after 5-star after 5-star, or in the words of Sheamus, banger after banger after banger. I don't know. They've kind of put themselves in a box, which is why he's at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, all ego, Ethan Page. If y'all been listening to this show long enough, y'all know how I feel about Ethan Page. I think he's the best heel in WWE right now, and that's no slight to Gunther. And I reason why I say that is because I literally just listed. They've put Gunther in this box, whereas Ethan Page has several different angles he can go after. He can go after Ricky Saints.
Mm-hmm.
He can go after trying to become the 2-time champ in NXT. He can go get his revenge on Tony D'Angelo. And I will say this, Tony D'Angelo, I love his new character. But there's several different angles that they could call him up to the main roster. They could pair him up. I thought I saw something about Seth Rollins bringing him up and Seth Rollins using Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's several different angles you can go with Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's my number 2 heel right now. My number 1 heel, and he's probably number 1 on any and everybody's list.
Mm-hmm.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He is the best heel in the game right now. The best heel in the game. Like he can work any match. We saw the Texas Unalive match. I thought that match. I was all for that match, and I love Hangman Page. I do, but MJF is the Randy Orton of this generation.
Yeah,
he's not as diabolical. He's not. I mean, but what? Who's gonna let another grown man put their Johnson in their face and then hump their face like that? MJF does it to his opponents. Like, come on. Number 1, that's nasty. And number 2, that's top heel work. That's top heel work. I mean, even after the Texas Death Match at Revolution, what did he do? They have Hangman Page strapped down to a gurney, and what does he do? He stands on the gurney, puts his foot on Hangman's chest, holding the belt up while strapped to a gurney. Come on, man. That's ultimate heel work. So that's my top 5. Randy Orton, Swerve, Gunther, Ethan Page, and MJF.
Yeah, I basically will have like basically the same type of list. I don't think, I would change anything as far as that list, because all those guys that you just mentioned are doing great heel work right now, and they're probably the top heels in their company at the moment. So it's really nothing really to rearrange or change. It's just that's what they're doing right now. They're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? So, what else can I say? Like I said, this is going to be an interesting few weeks of wrestling leading up to WrestleMania. It's going to be an interesting few weeks, like trying to keep up and everything and see what's going on. It's going to be interesting. For sure.
I am really interested. Like, the fact that they played, I know they play playbacks from SmackDown and playbacks from Raw on the other shows and stuff like that. But the fact that they had Michael Cole set up to do an interview with Randy Orton, they're putting a lot into this, as they should, because of the history between Randy and Cody. They should put a lot of effort into it. How does it play out, though? Does Randy get number 15? Does Cody do what Cody does and become, instead of Super Cena, we got Super Cody? Does he become Super Cody? And does he get his get back? Who the hell was Randy Orton talking to on the phone? I'm intrigued by that. Who the hell was he talking to on the phone? I don't know.
It could be anybody. It could be anybody. We'll just have to see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting moving forward.
I will say, out of what we got right now, between Punk and Roman, Randy and Cody, Oba and Brock, um, the women's match, Stephanie and Liv, Jade and Rhea, and we're probably going. And I want to throw an honorable mention in there real quick before I forget. An honorable mention for Top Heel. As much as she fucking annoys the piss out of me, her voice annoys me. Everything about her annoys me. But that's the thing about a heel. You're not supposed to like them.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch. I gotta give Becky Lynch some props. Like, she annoys the piss out of me. But damn, is she playing a good heel.
Look, I know people hate Becky Lynch, you know what I'm saying, right now, but you gotta give her props. Becky Lynch puts people over. She's put some folks over and made them look really good. She put old girl over, and old girl wasn't even ready. She wasn't even ready. I'm not saying she didn't improve in her wrestling. I'm saying the position that they put her in, she wasn't ready for that position. That's why you seen so many botches or like snafus. And I'm not even getting on her case because it's not even her fault. It's not her fault. She's just not ready for that type of moment yet. And they pushed her into it. You know what I'm saying? For obvious reasons. She has the look. She's tall. You know what I'm saying? She has a great physique. So they put her in that position for obvious reasons. But they also, you know what I'm saying? They also they kind of put her character in a bad position too. You know what I'm saying? Because although she has the athletic background, she doesn't have the experience and reps, but they decide to run with it, and it kind of fast forward her character into something, but I'm gonna be honest, she's improved. She's improved, even though she wasn't ready for those type of moments. Maxine Dupree has improved, and Becky Lynch made her look real good. So did Natty. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with the whole Natty Neidhart thing. What is her character gonna be? Is her character going to be a character that is going to end up getting the WWE Women's title for another time? Or is it going to be one of them heel characters that, that is going to be a heel, but it's almost like an enhancement talent. Like she's going to make other folks look good and she's not going to win a match. Because although she won her last match, it also feels like she's been losing too many matches already with this new character. Am I talking out of, what I'm saying, crazy or nothing?
Here's what I'm confused by. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to capitalize on what she was doing in these other promotions. I don't think it's working. I don't think they're doing it the way those other promotions, those indie promotions, were doing it.
I don't think they're doing
and it's
it
not
right.
It's not catching. They're not, and it's not catching on. So here's the. Do they reverse back to what she was, or do they try to fix it and let her put her spin on it? Because I'm almost positive, whenever she was doing Bloodsport and stuff like that, they allowed her to put her spin on this character. Whereas this has WWE creative written all over it. At some point, sometimes you just need to let the person that's playing the character, develop the character instead of trying to put your WWE spin on it. I mean, we saw what happened with the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
And I say that because Vince McMahon took his hands off the Hurt Business and he let MVP, Bobby, Cedric, and Shelton do their thing with the Hurt Business, and it worked. So sometimes you just have to take, my hands are off, and I'm gonna let you handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what Triple H and creative gonna have to do with this Natty character. Hands off, let her do it. Book her matches, yeah, but let her develop that character the way she sees fit, not the way WWE sees fit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. No arguments here. I agree with you, but are they going to let off? I don't think so. I don't think so. To a certain standpoint, WWE has to have some sort of creative control. You know what I mean? Although I do feel that Natty has earned the right to have most creative control over her own character that she created herself. I do feel she deserves that right. She should have the right to have control over that character, because that character is a cool character.
If they allow her to do it, they gotta allow her to do it. Just like you allowed these NXT talents come up and continue what they had going on NXT. You allowed Trick Williams to keep the whoop that trick and everything about him, his persona. Only thing that they did is they added that little deal at his entrance where he spins, kind of like what they were doing with Bobby Roode, the Glorious, when he would spin with his hands out. They added that to him. That adds to the character. Cool. But you didn't change his character. You didn't change Obafemi. And Obafemi caught on just like that. I know y'all heard the crowd when Obafemi's music hit when Brock Lesnar was out there on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You don't change that. You don't. Javon Evans didn't change. Lash Legend, you didn't change Lash Legend. You let them continue on what they had at NXT. And I feel like what they're doing is they're changing what Natty had built as this like MMA character, but they're putting a WWE spin on it. No, that Natty character caught fire on the indie scene. So why change anything?
Yeah, I agree with you, but you know how WWE is, man. You know how WWE is. So, I guess we just gonna have to see what they have in store.
Because I can almost guarantee you now, whatever Randy and Cody has planned, they're not going to touch it. They're going to let Randy and Cody do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you make magic. Just like they're going to... I don't know who changed it, but reports said that Roman was supposed to bring up CM Punk's dog Larry, but it was changed. And he just called him old. I felt like, I don't know who changed it, whether if it was Roman himself or CM Punk said no. But the fact, if CM Punk said no to Roman bringing up Larry, that's some baby back bullshit. And I say that because you brought up Roman's dead father. Mm-hmm. You earned whatever Roman was going to say. And if it comes to find out that it was CM Punk that said no, that's some baby back bullshit. But for the most part, other than that, they're letting Roman and CM Punk say what they want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, why change anything with Natty? If it caught fire on the indie scene, let it catch fire here. Don't need to put your WWE spin on it. Or maybe it's because it's against Maxine Dupree and nobody really cares about her. Mm-hmm. She got her 15 seconds